No.
Oh. Hello and welcome to episode. Fuck you. All right. You know what? Let's just run with that as the intro because this is episode 52 of the Extreme Hardware Podcast. Yes, we have an entire year's worth of episodes now, so that's fun.
We're professionals.
Today we're joined by the normal crew. We've got Alex. Oh. We got Axie.
Hello.
We've got Chris.
I'm here against my will. Please give me a loaded gun with one bullet.
We have server admin, aka Navjack. And this is Simmons. So just straight off the bat, we need to have another Alex story because apparently he got a brand new work laptop.
Oh, doing
No,
that
wait.
thing?
I want to preface this by saying Alex is cursed. Don't let him near your computer.
Yeah. Oh, we should talk about your VR computer as well.
My VR computer? Do you mean my computer? Because not everyone's rich enough to have computers for specific niches like the toilet computer, the kitchen computer. The
Oh
VR computer.
no! Before you call me out, the toilet computer's dead. I only have a kitchen computer now.
Did the toilet computer get wet?
It's dead.
No, it was 10 years old and it finally died. It was a laptop.
How did it die, Simmons?
Just because
Chronic masturbation accident.
no.
Was it sitting in a humidity environment, like running the shower?
So actually, I was doing some testing on it, and the CPU just was no longer able to turbo anymore. Whenever it would turbo, it would just shut itself off.
So turn off turbo.
I mean, but at that point, I already had my Surface Book, so who cared?
Oh my goodness, Simmons! Just must be so hard having all these computers around.
Simmons, how does it feel being rich?
Yeah.
No, not really. Anyway, so tell us about your work laptop.
So I work in IT, and my laptop that was given to me initially was from 2014, despite I started in 2018. It was a slow laptop. Long and the short of it is, I'd been requesting a laptop for 2 years, finally got a replacement laptop, and of course, because of political reasons within the company, someone designated our team non-technical because they don't like the manager who was there a year ago, which means we get receptionist quality laptops, which means absolute base model Lenovo's, 8 gigs of RAM, worst i5, I think. I don't know, mobile SKUs are very weird. Basically, it's a 1.4 gigahertz CPU. Just a horrible laptop, actually. Lenovo's quality, just as a side note, has gone downhill so fast. I was very easy able to compare, 4 years apart. The new one is bad, just build quality wise. Anyway, being in IT, testing a lot of tools and developing some tools, unfortunately, against my will, I have to run things as admin, obviously. Yeah, my new laptop, I didn't have admin privileges to anything.
Amazing.
I couldn't install .NET. I couldn't install Notepad++. I couldn't install 7-Zip. I couldn't install Zoom. I couldn't install Cisco WebEx. I couldn't install Firefox. Nothing. They preloaded the software or the laptop with a bunch of software, and they're using why am I blanking on this? The Windows thing that automatically pushes software. It's like SCC or
SCCM.
Yeah, SCCM to push software, and it's a custom. I almost said the company name, but it's a custom version. The company created a custom version of Chrome that they push. And what this custom version of Chrome does, apart from being 6 to 12 months out of date, it forces Flash to still be installed, which is because some of our
here I come.
some of our apps still use Flash, which is fun. Forces Java to be installed. Also, all my cookies and web browsing data, cache data, anything Google's Chrome can save to your laptop doesn't save it to your laptop. It saves it to a OneDrive that's shared with the IT department.
Okay.
So everyone's browsing data and cookies and all that stuff is just visible by the IT department, which is weird. it's like it's that privacy the standpoint. I don't have any.
It's because they don't trust their users to do the most basic things, and somebody in upper management just has some draconian rule set like, no, if my employees watch YouTube, they're not working, when in reality they're watching YouTube because they have downtime and would contemplate suicide otherwise.
So,
Pretty
quick
much.
question then, because if they're forcing the Google to basically use, instead of your app data, use a OneDrive folder for storage of cache and stuff, and that means that you could essentially just share that folder now because it's your OneDrive on your computer.
No, it's not my OneDrive. It's going to like a SharePoint type OneDrive.
Well, it's got to be a folder on your computer though, right? Because Chrome needs to access the physical folder.
Yeah.
You go into there and just right-click, share that file, and just give a link to, let's say...
No, I don't have permissions to share.
Really? Oh, that's just... So you can't use OneDrive.
Another thing, I don't have permissions to change the time on my laptop. So for the first week, it was set to 2015 and like 3 a.m. all the time when I was working. I'm sure you know the issues with outdated time and certificates.
Yeah. Try installing drivers when your computer thinks it's 3,362. Sorry, 65.
But it's fine because I didn't have to worry about certificate issues because I couldn't connect to any of the VPNs or any of the work environments anyway. So yeah, I couldn't work on
They gave you a work laptop that you couldn't do work on.
Pretty much. So like there's so many things I couldn't change. Like I couldn't change the wallpaper. I couldn't delete icons on the desktop. I couldn't customize my start menu. I had to use the biometrics, the fingerprint or the face ID. It's just like a whole bunch of really, really pointless crap. Ended up basically lying to internal IT saying, yeah, everyone on my team has full local admin access. I need full local admin access to my laptop. And they're like, okay. So yeah, that's how I got around it.
Speaking of Firefox, by the way, since you mentioned Firefox, Mozilla has updated the Firefox logo. There is no more Fox. It is just generic warm-colored swirls.
It was no longer furry coded.
Wait, when? Because they've been updating it a crap ton.
Check voice lobby. It's new.
So new. Oh, what do you mean this is not new? This is like 2019.
Yeah.
The new Firefox there?
Yeah.
Bottom middle is like the current version, I think.
That's what I...
Yeah, no, I'm
bottom
serious.
middle is what I have right now.
Yeah. Check the date on that. 2019.
Well, I guess they're pushing it out now because my taskbar icon is still...
from what I understand... Yeah, from what I understand, don't quote me on this, but I think they did that 2019, then there was a lot of backlash, and then they didn't do it anymore.
And now they're going to do it again, aren't they?
Well, no, I don't trust Twitter too much. So
I also don't trust Mozilla that much.
Yeah.
Firefox's idea was to have Firefox, a brand, and then they have Firefox Send, which is obviously been depreciated because thanks miners, Firefox Monitor, Firefox Lockwise, and Browser. So the browser shouldn't change icon. But company icon, like headers and the actual company, should change. I sent an image in voice lobby.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's been like pulled back. Even if it hadn't, your browser would not have changed its icon.
Sad. Well, obviously, what I'm saying is it's still the old version, and I am on version help about Firefox 84, which is one behind.
At
I
least
want
my
that
computer is nice enough
2002.
to create new local admin group policies for people to give them some access to their machine, but still not full admin access. And you could still, and then just gave everyone a copy of VMware installed on their machines. You could just install your own VMs if you really want to run restricted stuff. You could just create a VM for it, and if you can figure that out, well, at least it's in a VM.
The problem is, there's no way in hell I could install a VM on my work laptop. Like, I open my work laptop up, and there's, let's say I boot it up, right? It takes a long ass time to get into Windows because there's like 50 scripts that run on boot.
Yeah, and policy checks and domain updates because it's all Azure AD now.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I can, because of how SCCM works as well, every time I uninstall one of the programs, they're like, "Ooh, you don't have it on your computer. You need to put it on your computer. Oh, it's going to auto start." So, like, if I boot up my laptop, this is why I never turn it off. I need to go into the SCCM thing, uninstall Chrome, uninstall the Jabra stupid crap, uninstall like a whole bunch, like Dropbox and a whole bunch of other crap that they force me to install because it runs in the background. And I need every single megabyte of RAM I can get because MS Teams uses like 2 gigs. Outlook uses a gig. OneNote uses a gig.
Yep.
Excel uses like a gig and a bit.
I'm assuming your laptop only has 8 gigs of RAM in it.
It doesn't have enough gigs of RAM to run TeamSpeak. Because Alex died.
Yeah, he's dead now.
I mean, I assume he's thudding around.
Yeah,
Did he
he's just
fall out of his chair.
that's his corpse on the ground, just kind of wiggling.
Oh,
That happens as gas releases and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sometimes you can do like fun electrochemistry around the nerves, and it'll just
Wait, so did he just get
go
so?
look up bioelectrics. Is he putting away dishes now?
Wait, did he just get so angry that he's doing the dishes?
I think so.
I wish I could get that angry.
All right.
I wonder if he's had any other computer issues recently.
Well. He had one on.
No, that's rude. Don't talk for him.
I was gonna say he had one on Saturday, and that's all I was gonna say. But I suppose while we wait for Alex to do the dishes. So Bitcoin just recently hit a new market cap, and conversion to USD record. Man, words are hard today.
I'd say can we
Bitcoin
kick Alex, but that would mess up the recording.
Yeah, no.
Bitcoin is over $57,000 now.
Yeah, as of right now, according to Coinbase, Bitcoin is $57,539 per one Bitcoin.
A lot of Bitcoin. My brother's still in on Dogecoin, and Dogecoin spiked 0.5 cent today immediately after Elon Musk made a tweet about Dogecoin. And then it immediately stopped going up once it hit 6 cents because everybody had a sell target there.
Your brother should really sell that. Dogecoin is not designed to have any value. I'm amazed it's still above 1 cent.
Yeah, I know, right? But he hasn't told me to pull the trigger, and he reimbursed me for the Dogecoin that I spent. And frankly, if he takes a loss on it, then I'm taking a loss on it because as far as the IRS is concerned, that's my money that I lost. So I get a tax break out of it. I feel like I shouldn't say this on the podcast, but whatever.
You know what? It's still funny.
It's not wrong.
Oh yeah, and in also in line with the price increase, apparently it now has a $1 trillion market cap.
Market cap is useless even for like actually traded companies. Market cap for Bitcoin is just what? that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a big funny number, and it made headlines. So that's it.
It sure did.
Yeah. And then on similar vein with Bitcoin and crypto, so nvidia announced that they will be releasing CMP cards, aka mining GPUs. Specifically, with this is nvidia is claiming that by pushing these CMP GPUs, this will do a hard segmentation of the mining market wanting GPUs and gamers wanting GPUs, or at least that's how they're advertising it. And also, as a result, with new driver updates, they have halved the hashing output for detected mining operations.
Didn't they only do that on the 3060 because full rate drivers already existed for the rest of them, and they would just use the older drivers because of course they would.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that absolutely hilarious. It's like, so basically, if you still want the full hash rate, just don't update your drivers.
Well, if you want the full
and
hash
don't buy the
rate,
new
just
GPUs.
get the 3070. Actually, that's going to be extremely funny because 3070 and up is going to be sold almost exclusively to miners. So 3060 and below are going to be the peasant cards for gamers.
So I think the thing that I am kind of frustrated with the whole CMP GPUs is, have they even stated who the fab for these is going to be?
It's just salvage dies. It's going to be the same as what they're using for everything else. I mean, you can tell like
code engines.
Power rate's up, hash rate, like power usage is up, hash rate is down compared to the, RTX series cards. Like they're shit. They're awful.
Yeah.
They just popped off the video port.
I don't know why miners would even be interested in buying these GPUs because
for future cards, NVIDIA is going to segment their market by restricting hash rate on gaming oriented.
No. I'm not talking about for future cards. I'm talking about with the current when the CMP GPUs eventually are released. Is one of the biggest cost savings that these mining operations will get is when they're done mining with a certain GPU, they just sell it on the used market.
Mm-hmm.
And then it can go to somebody who wants a used GPU. Even if it was mined on, it'll still probably work for a couple of years before it dies. Speaking from experience with a Fury Nano that I purchased. With the
people are still going to buy them. Like you have people like Jack doing his random video products just need CUDA that don't need encode engines or anything.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to buy them.
Yeah, but I don't think the secondhand market for a dedicated mining GPU is as big as just a pre-mined on regular GPU.
Well, I think it depends on what they enable. Like if they keep the NVENC engines on, then boom, you've got some amazing encode decode cards.
Oh my god, they're not going to do that, are they?
But they're highly like they're going to just disable that so that they're strictly
my god,
mining.
No, Axie, you're right. That's what they're going to do. NVIDIA is making an entirely new product line of e-waste because
no RT cores.
Everything about crypto is rotten. It's awful for the environment. And NVIDIA's like, all right, now what if we make new SKUs that you have to throw in the trash when they're outdated?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, baby. Sign me the fuck up.
Or pay a fee. Watch them have you can pay us $100 to unlock your serial number, and we'll send you a firmware update that can unlock a feature.
That would get leaked immediately. Speaking of the environment being just completely irreversibly fucked, we can now do year-long or year-round trips through the Arctic sea ice because enough of that is melted. So hell yeah, baby, cheaper oil. What was the other thing?
I don't know.
See, you said that, Chris.
Yeah. No, shut up.
This is related to that, though.
Oh, okay.
Squirrel moment. So, trip through the Arctic ice, enough it's melted now. I can just imagine now Jeremy Clarkson making the next episode of Grand Tour where they convert some old, Ford Rangers or something with paddles and massive buoys to just make a trip through.
Yeah.
If Jeremy Clarkson weren't alive, that I would make very funny jokes right now, but unfortunately, you can libel the living. But no, crypto's just god awful for the environment, and now NVIDIA has given themselves the task of basically writing antivirus for their GPU drivers, because now they have to be able to detect, these calculations are mining algorithms, and we have to block these.
Yep.
They've got to go out of their way to do this.
Short of having some sort of on new GPU, some sort of CUDA API key that's registered with the driver by whoever wants to do it. It's like Folded Home would have to register an API key, but then not have that somehow get leaked. Use digital signing or something.
Oh my god, that's the worst.
Only.
No, dude, that's the worst idea ever. They would suicide their operation overnight after that, because it's I can't just start programming CUDA if I want to do GPU stuff. Well, what's the point? All right, well, I'll just grab this Radeon card then. It's cheaper and it does OpenGL too.
Yeah, they can't really do anything. There's no easy solution for them at this point.
Yeah, and I really don't know what else to say other than parody redact crypto farm owners in the head in Minecraft.
So Jack
They
actually
can run Minecraft a lot because of all the graphics cards that they have. They can run like lots of games of Minecraft.
Yeah.
So Jack actually brought up a good point in voice lobby, and because the way that the verbiage is being presented by NVIDIA, it doesn't look like that this is just trash dies that they're recycling for GPUs, even though that makes sense. No, as far as I can tell, they're trying to do a dedicated fab for these CMP GPUs.
That's a Teddy. I like Teddy.
Which I find absolutely ridiculous, is because oh wow, we can't keep up with the demand for mining GPUs, so let's just dedicate some of our fab resources to make GPUs.
Dude, this whole industry is going to implode. It's going to be great.
I mean, I feel like the NVIDIA side of things might implode, but I don't see.
NVIDIA's stock is like already horribly overvalued, and a bunch of companies are suing them over the ARM acquisition, which I forgot happened.
And Mellanox.
Yeah.
Mellanox one was pretty bad too.
Yeah, so like
who's suing NVIDIA?
Google and others. I think Qualcomm as well. I can't remember exactly who.
Are they suing for anti-competitive?
Probably.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I don't know, dude. I just saw like the blurb and I saw the byline. And
well, it depends on NVIDIA plays. Like if they keep everything open that was already open, that was out there, then fine. Like all the Mellanox configurations for all the networking protocols and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If they keep supporting that as it is and let Mellanox just exist as a company that's under NVIDIA, then fine. But yeah, as soon as NVIDIA starts to strong arm their way into all these technologies and add licensing fees and break existing network links, then yeah, people are going to get absolutely fed up.
Yeah. And NVIDIA.
Oh yeah, people are going to sue them, but NVIDIA isn't going to lose because since when has the U.S. really done any antitrust things since
fees.
Microsoft? They won't get buried in legal fees.
Oh, they'll bury the claimants. They'll bury the claimants in legal fees of, okay, here's all this paperwork, here's all these things, read through and blah, blah, blah. Just make the case not even affordable for the people that are suing them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what you mean.
Oh, yeah. So in lieu of GPU shortages, as we were alluding to just a few minutes ago, so we all know that the 3000 series GPUs are basically out of stock everywhere, and the only place that you can buy them is on eBay for about 400% markup.
Computers.
Oh, Alex, you got finished washing your dishes. Excellent.
Actually got a order from Amazon of a USB-B cable.
Amazing. All right.
Wow, that's cool. You just randomly left in the middle of a sentence.
So where are you gonna store that USB cable?
USB is stored in the US balls.
Thank you. That's what I was wondering.
I was like, I think this is a setup for a joke, but I don't know which one.
We have a lot of them.
one.
Now that you're back, have you had any other computer issues recently?
Yeah.
So there's also a reason why I got 2 new USB-B cables.
US Venus.
Okay, so
US Beepus.
Thank you, Chris.
USA to USB.
I hate you. All right, go ahead, Alex.
I went away for a week and I didn't touch my computer at all. Literally not even home. Didn't touch my computer at all. Plugged into a UPS. Everything was in standby, I suppose, not off. I come back and 2 of my USB ports at the back of my computer are dead. I have no idea why.
It's the dog's fault.
No, I didn't touch it at all.
No, it's Teddy's fault. Teddy took you away from your computer, and your computer got jealous and killed itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 USB ports at the back are just completely dead for no explicable reason. I reset CMOS, reinstalled Windows, still dead.
Did you do a continuity test?
What?
I don't know.
I don't have a multimeter. I'm not.
Same.
Not.
Do you have a continuity meter?
No.
Do you have an ohm meter?
Yeah. And on top of it, one of my USB-B cables died.
The cable itself.
The cable itself.
The
Yes.
USB movie.
I don't think I've ever had a USB cable die before. Basically, it's enough for like it passes data fine, but from my amp to my computer, it just creates a whole bunch of like
Noise.
But
yeah, no,
it's
the issue is with
only
those.
at like high bit rate.
Yeah, so
And-
the issue with that I've seen with those after dealing with a lot of USB cables and opening them up and troubleshooting is a lot of them just cheap out and they just do super high twist rates at the ends of the cable.
Mhm.
But then in between the cable is just so loosely and it's just filled with like extra like fiberglass weave to make the cable seem like it's thick.
Huh.
But they're actually using like undergauged cables for the data and power sometimes. And I've seen upwards of half a volt drop, which I mean, when you start with 5 volts, that's a lot to the end of the cable on just a little 5-footer. Like I had
Nice.
to actually switch my cable out because my my little blue snowball ice mic was giving me issues. I took it apart and just put a little suicide end on it with a USB-B adapter and measured. Yeah, it was 4.5 volts out on one side of the cable, whereas there's 5 on the other out of the computer.
Axie, did you just say suicide end?
Yep, that's the proper
Yes.
term.
An electrical
Okay.
term. It's what you call when you take a regular plug, you put it on the end of a cable, but then you cut half of it off so that you can access the inner wires and short them together or measure them.
Yeah, suicide is how I'm gonna end my. Anyway, yeah, I mean,
No.
I've heard of like suicide cable in terms of like AC cables where you cut it in
like a
half and then
male-to-male
you-
for like a generator
you're-
plug-in.
well,
AC to AC.
I mean that, but also
Oh, suicide.
yeah, just when you're left with the end that goes into the wall with bare wires on the other side because you cut it. I've got a couple of those in a box somewhere that I should probably destroy. But what if I need them?
Especially
It's
the
like-
unpolarized ones that are just lamp cable that are the same, not
Lamp.
identifiable conductors on either end. So you don't know which is hot, which is neutral, and there's no ground either.
Nice, yeah, those are the best. It's like the same size blade. If you plug it in one way, then it's fine, and if you plug it in the other way, the entire housing is live.
Yeah, US plugs suck.
Oh yeah, no, they absolutely do, but also they go back to like the 1800s.
Yeah.
I would assume anyway.
I was surfing
I mean,
the internet
hell,
The UK ones, and the UK ones are some of the best in the world unless you stand on them.
UK plugs absolutely do not go back that far, totally unchanged. No, like my grandma's house when we sold it, it was made like I'm not sure when it was built, but she still had a bunch of outlets in one room that didn't even have a ground plug.
Yeah.
Were
It was
they
just old
those-
enough.
Were her plugs like in the ceiling where it routed just on?
No.
That's a personal
Porcelain.
question.
Nope.
Shh. Were they like porcelain things with
Nope.
wires?
Nope.
Okay.
No, it's just like wall outlets.
No. There's houses back in my hometown that half of the like living room outlets are just 2-prong outlets, no ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Wait,
about with the porcelain
tube
things, right?
and knob routing.
Yes, that's it.
Exposed knob and tube wiring, yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Or during the cheap houses in like the 60s to 80s where they used aluminum wire because they thought it would be okay, but actually not.
Yeah.
Alex, why does when like your lady friend posts Teddy videos, why does she do it so it plays all the way through and then reverses?
You know what's kind of interesting, and this is a complete and entire segu, but a lot of Chinese brands now are actually making really good stuff. And
In regards to what?
stuff.
I think there's.
I mean, yeah,
there's a
because that's
different way
where
to word
everything
that.
is.
Hang on.
That's
hang on.
where everything's manufactured now.
Hang on, let me explain. So one of the best is when I was looking into thinking that my amp and DAC had died, which was very sad. One of the best amp and DAC manufacturers these days for headphones is Topping. Their official store is on AliExpress because they're
Okay.
Chinese.
Yes. It turns out when you spend enough decades outsourcing all your manufacturing to China, then all of the manufacturing is in China, and people in China are doing their own research and development, and now they've just eclipsed us, and
Yeah.
we're never getting back.
Yeah, so here's a slightly different take on that is that China's always been good at manufacturing good products. It's just in the last few decades, they got really good at putting out a lot of shit projects.
Oh
We
yeah,
just keep buying from them.
yeah. It's not that
In
Chinese
between,
manufacturing is bad. It's that Chinese manufacturing is so advanced that it is able to be worse than anybody else in the world, but still technically
No,
do what it's
their
supposed
worst
to do.
is still better than what we can do in Canada
Oh,
or
also
in
that.
North America.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, yeah, probably.
Not probably, almost 100%. Canada's actually
World
having
War
a huge
II, baby.
issue with. I don't know how well you can hear me because I'm under my desk. There we go. Canada's having a huge issue, or showing the issue with how bad our vaccine rollout is because we can't manufacture the stuff here.
Yeah.
China is really good at making external combustion engines.
No,
Regular
that's-
engines that don't work very well.
I believe you're thinking of Tesla.
So,
No, that's under combustion engines.
yeah.
What does under combustion engine mean?
It combusts
actually?
under the car.
Yeah, that means
Okay,
your doors are
wow.
going to get stuck
So it's a
closed when you
Toyota
blow up.
Previa. What's your point?
At least it's not a Hugo.
That's like, actually, that your joke doesn't even follow from the premise there. It's just like, we're talking about inside versus outside. Well, what about up and down? That's like,
Everyone else got the
I'm
joke.
partial
Chris.
to
See-
left and right.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm personally partial to left combustion.
I'm gonna stab all of you.
Please do.
Please.
I'm gonna do a homicide suicide, a homisui as it's called in
Can
the
you do
police
that
water.
like over the internet?
God, I hope so.
Well,
now that Bitcoin's valuable enough.
no. I mean, Chris was going to design a robot that could punch me in the face across the internet.
Oh damn! I still need to do that, don't I? I just kind of lost my will to live.
Instead
so.
of putting a punching glove or a fist on it, you should just get
Put a grenade.
No. Put one of those, get a pair of those feet that we purchased
Shut up!
for you.
No,
And
no, we're not fueling your fetish, dude. No, that has given me a better idea though, since we're talking about that robot in the context of killing you. So instead of making it punch you, it just pulls the pin on a grenade. So you're just sitting there at your desk. I log into this little server. I'm like, "Hey Simmons," and I click a button, and you just hear a click button.
that would be the Simmons Khmer joke, but like a decade later and a lot more intense. Geez. All right. So we got a little distracted since Alex came back, but
Yeah, Alex came.
we were talking about kind of briefly about the GPU shortage and specifically the 3000 series GPU shortage.
Oh yeah, they're bringing back the 2060 and the 1050 Ti for the same price that they were sold at when they were new.
Well, but not even that. They're bringing them back, and then the prices are actually higher because the demand is so high for these GPUs right now because people need GPUs for whatever reason. So you're now seeing 2060s averaging around $500 a 2060, and then you have 1050 Ti's averaging around $300.
This is just so stupid. Like,
I know, it's horrible.
how much of this was caused by actual demand, and how much of this was people just like, oh, I need to build a new computer. I feel obligated to do this, and
I honestly,
oopsie whoopsie, one of the components isn't available. Let's just buy 2 generations old. Even what are you doing?
We're not going to find out what the cause of all of this is until like 10 years later when there's like a documentary about it.
No one's gonna make a documentary. Who
They
cares?
should. I would watch it.
Jack, you're going to make the documentary.
Yeah. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to call up Jensen and yell at him.
Okay, so
I mean, you should just do that anyway. Just call up Jensen and just yell at him.
Yeah, I'll be like, dude, why does the 3090 fucking suck?
You leather jacket wearing son of a bitch.
why does Lisa Sue wear a better leather jacket than you?
Okay, that's just weird now, Simmons.
Yeah,
What?
don't talk about her push-up bra.
No, I'm talking about the leather jacket.
Stop
You're the one who did that.
fetishizing the CEOs.
I just
Jesus
like the leather
Christ.
jacket. Get out of here.
I mean, it is.
Leather
It is
wearing.
Okay,
nice. It is
okay.
nice.
So who added the Nintendo 64 article?
The
because
Linux.
it was empty.
Yeah, it's from Phoronix. I was going to say that's probably Axie. He actually likes Linux.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
he's using
Yeah.
Linux right now.
Actually, take this one away.
As in
Honestly, I haven't
delete it.
really looked too much into it aside
Great.
from what it was last year. But yeah, it's Linux Daddy support for running on the processor that runs the N64. So yes, you could actually run Linux on the N64 even with
It's
4 to 8 megabytes of memory.
to be
depending if you have
clear.
the expansion pack or not.
To be clear, this is a part of the Linux kernel now. Like
Yeah.
they just kind of dumped it in there. It's official support.
So wait, are you telling me I can load up Linux on a cartridge now?
Yeah.
Technically, yes. If you do some work to clean, like remove all the packages that aren't needed on there, so it actually fits on a cartridge and it can be loaded into memory, then yes, you could run Linux off a cartridge in your N64 to run something.
Okay,
Um,
let's look at the
now-
prices for EverDrives for the N64.
The most notable thing about this,
Oh.
though, is that this is coming after support for Itanium got deprecated. Itanium was Intel's attempt at making a 64-bit CPU. Intel announced Itanium, I think, back in 1999. Itanium is old enough to drink now. And
Yep.
Itanium went nowhere because your boy Jim Keller, while he was at AMD, co-authored the AMD 64 extensions, 64-bit extensions to existing x86 code. It's all backwards compatible. Great. And that's what we've been using ever since. But Itanium still hung on, even though it, like, Alex has Echo. Great.
Hold on, I'll deal with them.
Deal with him. You must destroy.
All right, well, that's probably ruined the recording.
No,
Anyway,
it's fine.
Actually, did you just make things echo, or was that just
Just
a
talk about
coincidence?
Itanium.
It
It's
wasn't
fine.
me. I'm not on speaker, so
I just saw your thing blip while I heard my
Okay,
voice.
no, just go, Chris.
I,
Uh,
I don't even remember.
Titanium.
N64 currently has better support than Itanium does on current Linux kernels.
Yeah, that was the
I-
roundabout
I-
joke that you were
I
trying to
don't-
get to. Okay, next.
Wait, Chris left?
Huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
I kind of want to talk about this N64 thing a little
yeah,
bit
go
more.
for it.
I don't have any N64s, but like, I really wonder if you could load this up in an emulator.
That would be a little bit tough because the emulator, for the most part, emulates the instructions.
Yeah.
So, and the thing with the Linux on the N64 is that not so much just run it on the cartridge direct, you'd also have to make a slight mod to the base
Yeah.
chip in the actual N64 itself.
I don't think
That
you're
just
going to be
does
able
the
to do
initial
anything useful with this. It's just really interesting. I have
What I
no
can't
idea
wait
why
to
they
see.
did this.
Well, what I can't wait to see now, because the N64 ROM hacking scene is still massive. Like,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
disk drives being emulated now, and I can't remember the name of it, and the Ocarina of Time big mod.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's that big. I can't remember what it is, but it was based off all the new assets from the disk drive version.
Yep.
And I mean, if you have the disk drive, that's going to be a huge amount of space that you could actually make a pretty crazy game that can run if you can actually code it for the low level of the N64 without using much memory.
I
But
was
you,
gonna say,
you don't even need Linux to do that, though. I mean, there is so much documentation for N64 development out there right now.
do you guys follow any of like the TaskBot stuff?
Kind of, yeah.
So do you remember back in it was oh shoot, that speedrunning fundraiser that happens every year.
GDQ.
Yeah, GDQ. Yeah, do you remember AGDQ 2019 where they had two SNESs and a NES, and they live emulated Portal by using hundreds of millions of button inputs on the controllers to draw the pixels of a pre-recorded video.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can basically just run Portal on this if you wrote your software correctly.
Yeah, true. It'll be
I
interesting.
can't remember what it was. I remember there was one tinker I was following where they had a modified expansion card, and they were basically just live editing the RAM in the expansion card to an external computer.
Yep.
And then addressing that as the video memory inside the N64 to basically run a video or something through the expansion card very slowly. It was I think 8 FPS.
Yep.
But it allowed basically full screen graphics from rendered on a separate computer. So full 3D and everything.
Yeah. That's essentially how that ends up working. It's just, you're just jamming so many commands into memory that you expose through just a normal cartridge, and it just works.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like when they did the Portal emulation in GDQ, it was they took a Mega Man cartridge, and with a series of inputs, they were able to just give full access to video memory, just to whatever input was going into the controllers.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of stuff is. I distinctly remember talking to the project lead for TaskBot, and he said, "Yeah, you want to talk about a project that made 10 developers quit?" That was it.
I believe it. Yeah.
He said they were really happy with the results, but they were not happy as an organization, just due to how many people were just so burnt out and done after that. But yeah, anyway. What else we got? Oh yeah, Metallica live performance at BlizzCon.
This one just makes my head spin. I don't fully understand any of the decisions that went on here with this.
So
the official BlizzCon stream did have the actual live performance, but all of the other unofficial official ones, like the Twitch gaming one, didn't have a license for it, thanks to copyright laws brought in because of Metallica suing Napster. So they just muted the stream and played generic lo-fi hip hop over it.
Yeah. So honestly, this is as a person who streams the funny Block Wacky game and has to do some filtering or VOD deletion whenever blatantly DMCA music is requested. I find this absolutely hilarious, and fuck off Metallica, because you did this to the industry essentially. That's my 2 cents about it. Yeah, because Metallica was part of the reason why DMCA exists to this day. But also, I find it absolutely hilarious if you are watching any of these VODs from these streams through the non-official streams, and it's just either silence or it's, like you said, lo-fi hip-hop.
Has Metallica said anything?
No.
Oh, of course not, because they're just performing and then they leave and then they go home to their mansions.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Leave it to the record label to deal with everything and all their lawyers.
I mean, and this also kind of goes back to a lot of big Twitch streamers, the people who are regularly getting 50,000 viewers plus, and then their Twitch accounts suddenly getting terminated a couple months ago due to 3-year-old VODs that just so happen to have DMCA music, and then our terms of service changed. You're now striked out.
There's one strike as well. They didn't even give you the usual 3 like YouTube does.
Right. Well, I mean, but even with some of those individuals, it's because you had people who were just streaming not copyright-free music, so just regular music, in all of their streams. So then you had people who had 20 offenses from 3 years ago. It's kind of dumb.
Well, they know what they're doing, right? I'm sure Twitch looked at those numbers where it sucks. The number of viewers doesn't really mean anything if none of them are buying subscriptions.
Well, and I actually kind of find that hilarious, because even to this day, for the VODs that I don't delete, there are still portions of my Block Wacky streams where the audio just gets muted for the period of video where the auto detection algorithm said, "Hey, you're playing copyrighted music. You can't do that." And I don't know why they just couldn't just retroactively go do that, unless there's just some inherent flaw in the system where if the video is old enough, they can't mute the audio. So rather than deal with the problem internally, they just strike the user. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to get to a happy point with being able to play copyrighted music while we just have fun and hang out with other people.
I mean, honestly, I feel like if there's a platform that's actually handling that correctly, it's TikTok. And that's really, it pains me to actually say that. I can't stand TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know. I say I can't stand it, but I've never installed it or used it or interacted with it.
I illegally cannot install it or use it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah, you're not allowed to because you made bad choices in your life.
I mean, my bad choices gave me a career, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, got you through college, boy.
He literally paid for me to go to college, so yeah.
No, shut up, Simmons. I meant wanting to install TikTok.
Oh, that's the crime.
Oh, no. I was going to say that if anything, my girlfriend, she is all over the TikTok shenanigans and is also into K-pop. So I have to, I feel the need to just call her out and just make her feel bad for being interested in either of those platforms.
You both are cursed. Beautiful, though.
Your country tried to send you away.
Do I have permission to put the beautiful picture of both of you from Twitter on the thumbnail? Because you guys are beautiful.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't like Mary because she won't do my suggestions for Simmons' stream. I gave her 2.
Mary,
And she
okay.
didn't want to do either
So
of them.
for more context, so on my Twitch streams, I guess we're promoting myself more. We've set up the reward system. So like, if you're not familiar with Twitch rewards, you sit in a stream long enough, you earn basically gamer points that you can redeem for rewards that people set up in their Twitch streams. And we have a couple of really fun ones, such as for X amount of points, you can time out Chris specifically, or for even more points, you can time out anybody of your choice. And then recently we added for 25,000 points, you can time out or you can demod a moderator for the day.
Ooh.
So we like to cyberbully in our Twitch chat, but Drews wants to set up a reward where Mary would come in and beat me up on stream, essentially.
Yeah, 1 punch for X amount of points and for some more points.
But the problem is that Mary cannot consciously inflict violence on an individual. Now, in her sleep, she has like dumb strength, but when she's awake, she can't do violence.
And there was another suggestion, which
I don't want to say that one out loud.
Around it,
I'm not going to say that one out loud.
Where you train a Rottweiler to attack Simmons on stream, and don't worry about teaching it to stop attacking on command. That's something we could deal with later.
And Mary said no.
Mary's not fun.
Wait, well, she is, but not for those reasons.
Nice.
Anyway, moving on. What's this Dinosaur Planet?
Yeah. So you heard of Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube, right?
Yeah.
Remember when that game came out? Well, before it came out on GameCube, Rare was developing it for N64.
Okay.
And it didn't have, Star Fox trademark characters and stuff in it. But basically what happened this week was a ROM, basically in development, it's not completely finished, of Star Fox Adventures for N64. But it's called Dinosaur Planet, which was the original development name before it had the Star Fox property. But it's on the N64. I don't know. It's a really weird, twisted early version of a game that never came out in this form on the system.
I think it's a good idea. Like, it's a good segue into how many older games for the pre-PS3 generation were actually other games that from other worlds that just never were going to make it. So they just repurposed them with all new characters and a new story.
Well, so
from a ongoing good franchise that they knew would actually sell.
I think a perfect example of that was like, what was it, Super Mario 2? The one that introduced Birdo and
Lost
Shy Guy?
Worlds, yes.
Yeah. No, not the Lost Worlds, but
Not
it
Lost
was
Worlds, the other one?
no.
yeah,
no,
Doki Doki Panic you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So no, it was the game that introduced now very memorable characters such as Birdo, Shy Guy, and there was a couple of others that were very prevalent. The cactus, the spiky cactus.
Yeah.
Those all came from Super Mario 2, as we now know it, but it was originally intended for a completely different IP prior to that.
Yeah, but that IP actually came out in Japan. It was a full game. They just repurposed the whole thing and put Mario IP in it, and yeah, they got Mario Brothers 2 in the US.
Yep.
Kind of the same thing with this. I did download it. I haven't played it yet or messed around with it yet, but I will, and I'll probably talk about it next week.
Yeah. I assume you're just going to emulate it.
Oh yeah, I'm going to use Project 64 with low level emulation, so there's no bugs and stuff.
Nice.
So I'm guessing me putting in the other USB cable was loud.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, no, because when you were doing that, you were getting some echo and Chris rage quit.
Getting some echo. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You get echo all the time. It's fine. I ignore it. Chris doesn't.
Well,
Echo, really?
Yeah.
I feel bad because this is technically our 1 year anniversary episode at this point. And Chris rage quit, which I feel kind of appropriate, but I feel bad.
What's not the 1 year anniversary thing?
I've been doing this long.
Oh no, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. This is literally recording 52. So this is
But we've definitely skipped weeks.
set up.
It's not 1 year for me. I joined a couple episodes after.
Good
Yeah.
enough. You edit it. That's what counts.
Thank
you get honorary status.
Honorary admin.
Honorary server admin.
Yeah, that's me. You could trust me with all of the permissions.
No. I was going to say, so we've got a few more minutes left in the recording. Anybody want to just bring up something random to talk about?
Mike is short for Mycicle.
No.
I think it's just funny that, not funny. So it sucks what's happening in Texas right now.
Oh,
The
yeah.
massive power outage and the snowstorm. But what I really hate is the fact that the local utilities there are not regulated by, or not federally regulated.
Yep.
And the demand for electricity for heating literally drove up the cost 100-fold on some people's bills.
Yeah. I was
Caused them to
seeing,
not be able to afford electricity when it wasn't even available.
I
A
saw
lot
that.
of people got their bills 100 times higher than normal, and they went without power for 96, 128 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of flooding because they're not ready for that level of ice for that long. So outdoor, your hose bibs for your outdoor faucets burst inside the walls.
Yep.
You have massive amount of basically it's a flood damage at that point because it's enough water going up the walls that it's declared a flood. So 8-bit guy had his house declared a flood. Craft Computing had a bunch of damage.
Yep.
There's a few others too. It's crazy how much can happen, and they're just not doing anything about it locally.
I know there was a lot of large content creators in the suburbs of Austin, Texas, that were without power for several days.
Yeah. And EV networks were basically down. So if you had an EV, you couldn't go. So everyone's like, oh, gas for the win. It's like, no, gas pumps are still electric. You need to pump the gas. So guess what? With no power, you can't fill up your truck either.
Yep.
The EVs are likely going to last longer than the gas guzzlers will.
Don't
Yeah,
pay
it's,
electric bill, return to monkey.
I would like my electric bill to play me nice piano music.
Well, you can buy a Tesla and get it to do that for you.
Nice. Then I could
You can
become
make
monkey.
piano music, your car horn.
Yeah,
I
we're
think
still
it
up
can
here
confuse people.
because of COVID. I know the government, Ontario electric suppliers are still adhering to basically a flat rate of 8.5 cents across the board, whether you're tiered pricing for on or off peak or just bulk price for the amount you use. At least they're adhering to that. It's great. It's just that we're not on the same continent and you have complete opposite ends of priced based on demand during a blizzard to completely flat rate where we live with blizzards every other week in the wintertime.
Yeah, and I remember all these power companies like that were bitching and saying like, "Oh yeah, the windmills don't work when it gets so cold." Yeah, right. You just didn't maintain them.
Well, there was actually John Oliver. He did his show last Sunday, and they actually talked about some of the numbers. Windmill and solar are still outperforming their forecasted outputs, even with the failures and the blizzard. Whereas thermal sources are 30% underperforming, causing the blackouts. But it's being completely flipped around on its head by locals and news.
Yeah, I mean, it's Texas. What do you expect?
Honestly,
The thing about the wind not being maintained, it is maintained. It's just not winterized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're saying it's cold. This is what happens when it's cold. They don't work, even though 100% of the power generated in Antarctica is wind.
Yeah.
Which is significantly colder than Texas got.
I was gonna say, and also like Finland has a lot of wind.
Basically, all of Northern Europe, Alaska.
Yeah, there's a lot of colder places. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you fuckers were not prepared for a drastic shift in climate. Amazing. Yeah. I know.
Apparently this happened in 2011 as well, and they got told to prepare the windmills in case that happens again.
And they did.
But chose to honestly, not. Out of all these things just stem from a very simple thing, and that's that they privatized the electrical companies. The electrical companies turned to for profit. When for profit's involved, future proofing always goes out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And a shitty thing about it is everyone knows that. Everyone expects it. The people who generally have the power to do that either don't care in terms of people putting power, or they're willfully ignorant to it because they know that it's going to make them short-term to medium-term gains. Or I had another point and I completely forgot.
They are good friends with the high-ups in those companies, which is what happened this time, I think.
Much like it is, feels frustrating. I mean, we're not even there. And to me, it feels frustrating that this is just repeatedly happening in one form or another.
Yeah.
And there's nothing being put in place to stop it. And it's stupid. I mean, it's the same as bloody like healthcare as well in the US. They need to just honestly, it doesn't matter about who's bloody president now or then or whatever. You guys need a radical change.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, we know.
And it needs to be like a 10-year change. Like you need Stalin's 5-year plan, but actually for good.
Yeah. Oh, that's a spicy take, but yeah.
Well, no, not setting up people to build T-34s. But yeah, something like that. But the problem is, I don't know.
Yeah,
you need a dictator, but one that does things good.
We need a good dictator. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need Obama with an iron fist.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Iron Giant?
Yeah.
Just imagine that, but Obama.
The Iron Giant, but Obama.
The Iron Obama.
Perfect.
Okay, and on that note, I think this is a great time to wrap up the episode.
All praise the Iron Obama.
Second name is.
Wait, what was that, Andrews?
Does anyone actually know what Obama's second name is?
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 52 of the podcast. Yeah, I've got nothing else. Thanks, and
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Clipping.
I don't even have to say it no more. It's great.